Hey everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be going through an unboxing of the MGSD Freedom Gundam. And Freedom Gundam, of course, is one of the suits out of Mobile Suit Gundam Seed, and this particular kit was released this year being 2023 by good old Bandai. I did get this from Hobbylink Japan, as I do most of my Gunpla, so there will be a link to the Freedom in the description. Small caveat, when I last checked it was on back order, so putting that info out there now. So prepare to wait if it's something you want to grab. And the price wasn't too bad either. Anyway, getting straight into this, front of the box for the Freedom Gundam Master Grade SD. As always, artwork is impeccable. Definitely an interesting selling point, that's for sure. Will the kit actually look this detailed? Time will tell, but I will admit, from art alone, I quite like what I see. It's definitely very much the Freedom in all its Freedom goodness. So definitely very nice artwork there. And I will admit, it's very interesting because the box is also not a small one. So, doing what we can here. In fact, can I get everything in view? I could probably do that. So, bottom of the box, a lot of blurbage, posing, and things like that of basically the combination of the Master Grade tech and integration into the SD Gundam body size. So, basically taking the best of both worlds and whacking them into a kit. So, despite being an SD, it looks like posability, articulation, movement will not be an issue. Definitely a lot of interesting gimmicks here and there. Obviously the very iconic Freedom shooting pose, a lot of other poses, weapon poses, things like that. So this kit, in theory, should offer a good amount of playability once it's put together. And detailing wise, it looks great. Now, I'm going to assume most of these are pretty much finished product with painting, panel lining, and everything else. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like straight out of the box. But either way, that is super cool. And if anyone was wondering, the other side of the box, pretty much copy and paste of the front of the box. Front and rear view of the Freedom Gundam. So about 115 millimeters in total height, which I think is about 11.5 cm, which is probably 6 inch, give or take. I'm not too sure. We will have an inner frame, which is very, very cool, because that's obviously some of the positives of using the Master Grade series coming down into this size. Different detailing, stickers, things like that. So that's going to be very cool. And allegedly, unpainted completed model. So straight out of the box, should look absolutely divine. Spin that around, unlike a record. In terms of what's inside the box, heaps of plastic is definitely going to be a good answer. I am not going to rummage through all of that, so in a few ticks, we'll have a look at what's included, all the runners, manual, and everything else to see basically what does a MGSD basically look like on the runners. Okay, and everything out of the relevant packaging. Front of the manual for the MGSD Freedom Gundam. Very nice shot of the Freedom there. We do have some specifications about the Freedom, including its various armaments. And yeah, it's a very more of an artistic front image for the manual, which by the way comes across as a mini book. Back of the manual, painting guide, front and rear view, and just some small shots, some of the detailing that we can expect to see. In terms of the colours, what will we see? We will have white, blue, grey, yellow, red, lighter grey, and black. So your typical Gundam colours, just sported on the Freedom. First few pages, pretty much the parts list. It's actually surprisingly not too bad. Looking through the runners, you almost feel like you were being blessed with the runners of a real grade in terms of count, not necessarily quality pieces, but. And then pretty much everything else. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. It's your typical Gunpla build. There's nothing overly different, just going through everything as you would expect. The manual does feel more akin to a master grade / real grade booklet. In fact, it feels more like a real grade booklet. Obviously it's going to be not the case, but you can definitely see where it's starting to deviate from the SD side of things. From a master grade perspective, the middle splash page is pretty much full on color, posing, and everything in between. So it's very nice that we have both a combination of the Japanese and English to explain things, compared to about a decade ago, which was not necessarily the case. Although, give it a few more years, we weren't even about to say a decade ago. I've moved back to 2 decades ago. But that is very cool. A lot of scene recreations you can do with the MGSD. So, in theory, limitless possibilities. The waist, weapons. So if you've ever built a Freedom, you pretty much know what to expect in terms of the build. Definitely be interesting to actually see the wings actually having so many pieces and bits of detailing at this scale. Weapons, and pretty much that's it. We do have a marking locations page as well. So a very interesting, comprehensive manual. Now, before I get too carried away, transfer sheet. So something very typical MG. I probably will not use it. I mean, the markings look very nice, but yeah, I've always strayed away from the marking seals. But anyway, personal preference is always up to you. Now, as for the runners, we do have a few to go through. One multicolor A runner, predominantly in white, but we do have bits of yellow, some translucent yellow, which I suspect will be for the eyes, and some silver. So it's interesting that we've got some pre-injected silver here, but it's very nice looking silver, and I think that's actually even part of the head. I don't know, I looked at it and actually had some weird thoughts back to the Gundam Faceless, or the GP02. Just an idea of some of the detailing you can expect in some of the shielding. So if you like panel lining, like me, good luck. 2 B runners in white, exact functional copies, so that's not too bad. But once again, just an idea of some of the detailing you can expect on some of these pieces. So I don't think you'll be bored or starved for detailing. 2 C runners, C1 and C2, both in red. It's pretty much a bit of a copy and paste for some components, otherwise other bits are also unique on each of the C1 C2. So we have those in a very nice red, as to be expected. We have 2 D runners, D1 and D2 in the lighter grey. Similar to the C's, there is a little bit of overlap, which I might actually do this way. So there's your lefts and your rights. Otherwise, there are some parts that are unique on the D1 and some parts unique on the D2. So nothing unexpected there. E runner in, I think this is the dark grey. So this will be pretty much a lot of your innards, your weapons, inner frame, manipulators, and things like that. We do have 2 F runners, 100% copy and paste of each other. So this is pretty much, once again, more for your inner frame construction as well. So very much your master grade theme coming into play. Detailing, once again, is very, very nice. Now we have 2 G runners. Now this will be in black, G1 and G2. So I've got G1 overlaid on G2. So about 2/3 of the runners are shared between the two for your lefts and your rights. G2 will have some specific components, G1 will have some specific components, but that is definitely the black. and definitely very nice looking. Overall, detailing has been very, very nice from what I've seen. H1 and H2 in that nice typical blue. I've got H1 over the H2, so probably about 3/4 of the runners are shared between each other. H2 has, I suspect, possibly part of the feet, maybe? And then H1 has a few bits here that are unique. Otherwise, the rest are shared. Single eye runner with some translucent blue pieces. And lastly, we do have a SB13 for your beam saber effects. And these will be the rounded tips, not the flat ones. And that pretty much will bring us to the end of the unboxing of the Master Grade SD Freedom Gundam. So definitely a good amount of plastic in there. I do remember when I pre-ordered this, I wasn't expecting it to be, from a box perspective, the size that it is. It's definitely not a small box. But looking at what's included, it's definitely going to be a fun and enjoyable build. Definitely a very interesting hybrid of both the Master Grade and the SD worlds together in a single kit. And I do know that I believe it's the Barbatos has also been announced and is in a position to be pre-ordered. So it'll be interesting to see how this MGSD line continues throughout the future. No doubt there'll obviously be some other very popular kits to be released. I'm sure at some point there will be an RX-78. I'm sure there will be an Exia at some point in time. Time will obviously tell. It also depends how often they want to release these. Could quite possibly be maybe 2 a year, but time will tell. So yes, that's pretty much the unboxing. So if anyone was ever curious, and that's pretty much the amount of plastic you get, definitely straight to the backlog. Interesting to see how long it takes to actually get to building it. I would like to build it soon, but I say that with everything. And there's also a lot to build through, so backlog is pretty big. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this unboxing video. Feel free to leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. All of this does help support the channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, same handle as the channel. There will also be the link to the Freedom over at HobbyLink Japan as well, for those who are wanting a little bit more information about the product, maybe even just get a quote on how much it would cost to get from HobbyLink as a possible source of the kit. With that being said, stay safe and take care. I will catch you in a future video, which could be anything on the channel. Remains to be seen. Otherwise, yeah, take it easy. Until the next time. See ya.